I have a hard time believing these are always so well attended, but I'm delighted to have you here. Welcome to Bad Cinema, the best of the worst. My name is Joe Wose. I am primarily known as a cartoonist. I have a syndicated feature called Maze Toons that appears in newspapers all over the world. I also have a series of best-selling Maze books, my most recent book being Amazing Peanuts, featuring Snoopy, Charlie Brown, and the whole gang. I have a children's TV show, also for adults too, on PBS called Cartoon Academy, and I'm relatively known as the artist for Charlie the Tuna of Starkist fame. So if you've ever had a can of tuna, thank you. That has paid a lot of things for you, so thank you for that. Hey, Mike. I have tentatively the mic set up like this, but if you have a jack, that's great.
You can keep going.
Okay. All right. So I am glad to have you all here, despite the fact that you are all apparently very, very sick and twisted people.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Some more than others. That guy. And you're going to see just why he is so twisted in just a bit, I think. So let's start off the presentation just a little bit here. I think this is a good way to introduce what we're about to see. And it is indeed turkey time, because we're about to see some of the best bad films of all time. We'll watch some of the trailers and clips from some of these. But first, why bad movies? Well, Leonardo da Vinci, the great artist, thought to appreciate and understand beauty, one must also appreciate and understand the grotesque. I believe in order to understand how to make great movies or great art, you must be able to recognize what makes something terrible and awful and enjoy it just a little bit. So, how should people react to truly great bad movies? You know, I have searched for sort of like what is the ultimate reaction to someone witnessing a bad movie. You know, how should you react? Because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a very specific kind of reaction. And I think this sums it up pretty well. Yeah.
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Oh, my eyes!
So my hope is, after viewing this panel, you will scream, my eyes, my God, my eyes. That's sort of my hope and intention with this film. So, bad taste should be shared. Ever tasted something really, really disgusting, and your immediate reaction isn't to throw it out, is to find a friend and go, oh, this is awful, here, taste this. Or smelling something awful, or tasting something awful, or witnessing something awful. Your immediate reaction isn't, I should spare others. It's, I need to inflict pain because I have experienced it. So if you see something really bad, you'll want to share it. So, what makes a truly great bad movie? Well, first of all, sincerity. They have to believe they're making a great movie. They have to really believe they're doing something wonderful. Movies like Sharknado, I love Sharknado. Sharknado is not a bad movie. The reason it's not a bad movie is because they set out to make a bad movie. It's actually a good movie pretending to be bad. Okay? And there are a lot of movies out there like that, movies that are intentionally bad. Most of the movies you're going to see in this list are not intentionally bad. They set out with the very best intentions on what was essentially the road to hell. Celebrity. Doesn't have to have a celebrity, but if you have a celebrity in it, that's great. It can be a whole bunch of celebrities. It can be one celebrity. Usually the result of one of two things. They needed the money, or, again, they had the best intentions and were just extremely misguided. You're going to see a couple great examples of that on this list. Vanity. vanity is a big part of these. Most of the films you're going to see, the creator is the writer, the director, the star, and the producer, and probably does craft services too. They think they are great and must therefore share it with the world, their greatness. There are probably a few that come to mind already. Don't say them because we're about to see them. Low production values. Now, that does not mean that they have a low budget. They could have a multi-million-dollar budget, but it should look like it was all spent on food. Like they spent none of it into production. The lower production values, the better. Incomprehensible premise. There should be some idea that they had for the film, and then no one else understands it. I got a really great example of this, but often people sign onto the film not knowing what it is exactly they're making. And then after it comes out, they still don't know what they made, and the audience goes to see it and leaves going, what was that? If at all possible, make a musical. Again, doesn't have to be, this is just what I like. Throw a little bit of music in it. And then lastly, bad acting. It can be a truly bad actor. It can be someone who was not an actor and hired off the street. It can be a great actor having a bad day. A lot of these, one of the things when you have great actors in these is they end up acting really bad because they overcompensate for everybody else. They might be the only professional actor that's on set. And so they try and take that energy level up and end up really chewing up the scenery. So when you take sincerity, celebrity, vanity, low production values, incomprehensible premise, musical and bad acting, and ultimately just add in something that's just plain wrong, you get Shatner. He has been at a couple of the cons that I've done this presentation, and I keep waiting for him to show up and kick my ass. I kind of love it if a 90-year-old Shatner kicked my ass. And it brings us to the first film on our list, Incubus. Has any of you seen Incubus? Lucky you. The film stars a young William Shatner before Star Trek. Well before T.J. Hooker, it's filmed entirely in the made-up language of Esperanto. They took a language that someone made up. I think there's only like 40,000 people in the world who spoke it at the time. It's an artificial language, and they decided to make an entire movie about it. The movie vanished for quite some time, and you'll see why. And then it was rediscovered, but unfortunately very few people spoke Esperanto, so they just found someone who sort of spoke it a little and translated it, and it's a different film. Like the dialogue is saying one thing and they're actually saying another thing in scenes. It's see if you can make sense of it. Let's watch just a little bit of the trailer for Incubus. This is the modern re-release. Hold on, what audio? Our audio cut out suddenly. Not me.
There was Incubus. The long-lost cult classic.
Do you hear that?
Now available on home video. Incubus, starring William Shatner, is the only film shot entirely in the artificial language of Esperanto. And has been rediscovered and remastered to terrify all those who didn't see it before.
It's horrible. You should definitely see it. So that's it. All right, this is the Citizen Kane of bad films. How many have seen Plan 9? Yes, of course you have. You must see it. It is probably the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest bad film of all time. An incredible cast. Bela Lugosi is in it after he was already dead. They had some footage laying around. If you've seen the Johnny Depp film by Tim Burton, that is really pretty accurate of a lot of the stuff that happened in this film. There's a few things that they took some liberties with, but the zombie, it's a zombie vampire alien movie. Okay? That predates Night of the Living Dead, by the way. But it makes no sense at all. Wait till you see the props, wait till you see the acting, everything about it is bad. So bad that bad actors like Tor Johnson and Vampire both said, you know, we'd rather not have dialogue because we don't want to read any of this garbage you've written. Just give us the money and we'll do it. My favorite part of this is Ed Wood, because Bela Lugosi died before they could finish the film, the man they hired to be his Bela Lugosi stand-in is a full foot taller than Bela Lugosi. And it's really obvious in the film. When you see Ed Wood, the movie, you think, oh, they've got to be kidding about this, right? It's just a joke. No, it's actually legitimately that bad. Let's just watch a little bit of...
It is safe to say that the grandchildren of some of the people of this year will not be born on Earth.
That guy looks nothing like Bela Lugosi.
They come from the bowels of hell, a transformed race of walking dead, zombies guided by a master plan for complete domination of the Earth. Plan 9 from outer space. Starring the most nightmarish cast ever, Bela Lugosi, the seductive Vampira, and Tor Johnson as the Walking Dead.
Turn off your electro gun! No! No! Stop it, Janet!
I can't get it, it's jammed!
Stop it, you fool!
Bullets bounce off their bodies. Rockets, missiles, jets cannot stop their death ship. What earthly power can stop this terror? For a glimpse of things to come, see this blast of screen suspense. For it could be happening right now.
Go up and look this film up if you never see it, but then go back, look at the list of all the actors, and then look up their backstories about who they were and the things they've done since and the things they did before. Oh my, I mean, you could not have assembled a more eclectic group, and they were perfect for the film. Okay, this is sort of the modern one. I hesitate sometimes to include this film because Tommy Wiseau has now tried to play it off like, oh no, I knew it was a joke. No, he didn't. He really thought he was Orson Welles. He really thought he was a great director and great actor, and still does, clearly. I've just been told, by the way, that, I gotta find out who specifically, I'm gonna be in Boston next, and one of the actors in this film is going to be there. And they have threatened me that he's going to show up at my panel. So I said, so long as he doesn't gang up with Shatner, I think I'm okay. Again, this is that example of just pure sincerity of thinking you're that great and you have this great story to tell, and being the auteur, that you've got to write it, direct it, produce it, and do everything about it. I mean, you know this film, you've seen this film, and I don't know why you watch this film, other than the fact that you get to throw spoons. Let's take just a quick look here, see if we can make it the whole way through this one. I want you to notice something now. Okay, watch this. The worse the film is going to be, the longer they linger on the logo.
For you.
Just watch the rest.
A perfect life. I would do anything for my girl. I love you, Lisa.
I love you, Johnny. He provides for you. Darling, you can't support yourself. I don't love him anymore. He didn't get his promotion, and he got drunk last night. me.
It's not true. I hate her. Well, maybe you should have a girl, Mark. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I have one already. I don't know yet.
We can't do this anymore. Johnny's my best friend. This will be our secret.
Don't worry. You can trust me.
We are expecting.
I'm your future husband.
You sure about that?
Please talk to me, please.
You're having an affair with Lisa, aren't you?
I need more from life than what Johnny can give me.
She's a sociopath. She can't love anyone.
There is no baby.
I told him that to make it interesting.
You're such a manipulative witch.
You're hurting yourself. You're hurting our friendship.
I treat you like a princess, and you stab me in the back.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa.
That is like the Stella from Streetcar Named Desire of bad movies. You're telling me about Lisa. Great awful film. Okay, now this is one of my discoveries that, how many of you have seen this? You're the one person.
I've heard of it, but I've watched
No, I mean, you're literally like the one person who have seen this. That's because it was produced in Australia and New Zealand, and none of the actors thought it would ever see the light of day in America. But it's actually the songwriting team, yeah, it's a musical, the songwriting team behind Rocky Horror Picture Show. And this should be screened at midnight screenings at every Comic-Con in the country, but nobody seems to know about it. You are in such a treat. This is such an awful film, but it's actually really, really good because it's so awful. It's sort of, it predates sort of the phenomenon of superheroes being like dominating the box office. So this is before like every film was a superhero film. I'm not going to tell you the cast because I just want you to go, wait, what? All right, so here we go, the return of Captain Invincible. Here's the logo. See how long they hold.
Trust the people who brought you Time Raider.
This is going to be an awful film.
40 years ago, he was the hero of the day, until the system knocked him out of the sky.
Flying without a pilot's license. Wearing underwear in public.
40 years ago, he said he'd never fly again. And for good reason.
I couldn't even tell the good guys from the bad guys.
But when his country calls,
we need you badly, Captain Invincible. We need you now. Real badly.
when the evil Mr. Midnight...
Yes, that is Christopher Lee.
Hey, New York!
And yes, he sings.
It's time for the return of Captain Invincible, the hero who's forgotten how to fly, how to use his amazing computer brain, forgotten how to control his magnetic ability.
What the world needs now is a shining hero. What the world needs now is a glory man who will fly down and save the day.
It's the return of Captain Invincible, legend in leotard, king contender, and man of magnet. Fighting evil. Fighting booze. Choose your booze. It's the red eye.
Sicker in society and a lack of liquor and sobriety. So,
And fighting bull. The return of Captain Invincible. Everything's going to be just great again.
Wow, right? You can see, if you go on YouTube, look up Christopher Lee Booze. He sings an entire song about booze, of alcohol, that is just puns. That's all it is. It's like 3 minutes of him singing puns. But he couldn't lip sync to his own song, So, like, he's only on screen actually singing for like a few seconds, and then they cut away to some girls dancing, cut to him for like one word, and then back, because they just couldn't sync it up well, but it's great. It's actually a really good song. No, it's not, it's awful.
Or was that hallucinating?
What's that?
Is there a goblin puppet, or was that hallucinating?
You're not hallucinating, but hold on to that thought. Okay, next up, Manos Hands of Fate, which means hands, Hand of Fate. Very original. I love this film because it was made on basically a bet by a manure salesman who met a filmmaker and said, how hard could it be to make a film? I bet I could do it. And he did it on a camera that could only record for about 40 seconds at a time. So they would have to stop and then reload and record and stop and reload and record. It also had no sound on the camera, so they had to dub the whole thing at the end, which is sort of obvious. Our wonderful cosplayer here, who you're going to meet in just a second, decided to play this as a half goat, half man, but not tell anyone. And was tweaking out on LSD the entire time we were filming. Sadly, he had committed suicide about 2 months before the film was released. So that's the sad part of it. But you can see he was clearly not a well man when they were making this film. There were only 2 actors that were paid in this film. None of the actors ever got paid. Those 2 actors were the young kid in the film who got a bicycle, and the dog who was paid in dog food. Those are the only 2 who got paid. It is just a travesty. This is the first time I've seen someone cosplay. I did once see, you're going to see this costume in a minute, I did once see someone cosplay, and it's been decades, as Manos at New York Comic Con, and nobody had any idea who he was, because it was years ago. So here we go. We'll watch a little bit. What is really just the opening.
I could have sworn we didn't make a wrong turn.
You must have. Where did the road go?
No need to get upset. We'll find it.
You know, we should have asked for better directions at the last gas station.
Well, listen, I've never gotten this lost before. Now look, the sign pointed this way.
Mike, let's go back to the crossroads and ask those kids we saw.
Okay, but I know we can't be wrong. Look, the sign pointed this way. Where did this place come from? It wasn't here a few minutes ago.
I don't care. Let's see if we can get some directions.
I am Torgo. I take care of the place while the master is away.
We only want to know where Valley Lodge is.
Which way do we go? There is no way out of here. It will be dark soon. There is no way out of here.
It'll be dark soon.
No way out.
Well, you know, we could spend the night here, and then tomorrow...
I don't want to spend the night here. I don't like the looks of the place.
Well, it seems we have no alternative. Well, how about it, Torgo? Can we spend the night here?
I'll get the luggage.
It's legs. To this day, nobody knows why he did that. He's like, this is hysterical.
I'll be glad to leave. I've had all of this place I want.
Madam, it will be very dangerous to leave now. The master wants you.
Wants me? What kind of talk is that?
He wants you for his wife.
Arise, my wives, give ear to the words of Manos. Arise, my wives!
So that's enough of that. Harold Warren, it was like an insurance and manure salesman. The only thing he got out of this film, really, because don't they see it, and then it ended up, because he didn't register the copyright, it ended up going into public domain anyway. The only thing he got out of it is that costume. He would wear that for Halloween for like a decade to come, and no one would know who it was. So, all right.
Oh God.
Okay, how many of you have seen this?
I've seen enough of it.
I saw this in the theater.
Why?
I have this on Blu-ray.
And I was dumb. Okay, so Anthony Newley is in this film. Anthony was great singer, okay actor, who missed an opportunity to be in Willy Wonka. They offered him a role as the candy store owner in Willy Wonka. A song, by the way, the Candyman, that he had, popularized along with Sammy Davis Jr. And he turned the role down. And he regretted it the rest of his life. So as soon as someone came to him with a kid's film, he said, "Oh yes, I'll do it."
Yeah.
What a mistake. He pours his heart into the film. The young boy, Mackenzie Astin, who is in this film, is the son of John Astin. John Astin, of course, best known to Addams Family, but John Astin also was in several of the Attack of the Killer Tomato movies. John Astin read this script and then tried to get his son out of the movie. But they had a contract they could get out. When the star of Attack of the Killer Tomatoes movies thinks your movie is that bad, get out of it. Poor Mackenzie was just a worse experience for him, because all the little people who were hired to be the Garbage Pail Kids, this was, they had no cooling systems in the suit, and they were shooting long days, and it was just this heavy, vinyl and everything. So the only way they could shoot was if they were really drunk. So Mackenzie had to deal with, 10 angry, belligerent little people who just kept harassing the poor kid. A bunch of, drunk little people.
Honestly, sounds like it could be a great movie on its own.
It would be a great movie on its own. By the way, this is just a running theme when you watch, if you were to go back and really look at the top 100 best bad movies of all time, I don't know, at least a dozen of them would involve drunk little people. No just little people at all, but for some reason these movies have a lot of drunk little people in them. It's just an all-around awful film, but you have to kind of give credit to Anthony Newley. This is an example of an actor who really is pouring his heart into this role and doesn't know it's garbage. I mean, the title should have given it away.
Oh, honestly, I want to see a movie about his character.
Once upon a time, or was it more recently, there was a young boy named Dodger. He was the sort of child who was always left out of things. Each day after school, Dodger works in a junk shop owned by the mysterious Captain Nancy.
Witch's broth and vampire's brew make these clothes as good as new.
Dodger has never had a family or a friend he could call his own. Until now.
What's that?
They came out to help us.
Meet the Garbage Pail Kids.
Starring Nat Nerd, Windy Winston, Messy Tessie,
Give him a chance, Tangerine. You'll like him.
Allie Gator, Valerie Bobbitt, Lisa Gray,
I'm required for this.
Foul Phil,
Nice and it's over.
The Garbage Pail Kids movie. They may not be pretty, but boy, they make great friends. Starring Anthony Newley and Mackenzie Astor. The Garbage Pail Kids movie.
I would, if I had the money, I would reboot this film as a horror film. Like, in a heartbeat, and it would be hugely successful.
That was actually their intention in the first place.
Yeah, they should have just gone with it, because making a kid's flick did not work. All right, next. Speaking of little people, not as offensive as it sounds, this is the title of the movie, and you're going to see the horrible decisions they made as to naming this movie and everything about this film. Sometimes a really, truly great actor and great cast can all make a really bad decision and do a film because they're convinced this is going to get me my Oscar. And then everything can go wrong and it just be a just plain wrong film. Everything about this is wrong, but you're going to look at the cast and you're going to go, no way are these people in this film. And yes, it's a real film. They really made this. It is really awful. And here we go with Tiptoes. I'm not going to give anything else away. Oh, mercifully, it might not play. By the way, with Steven's life together. Another thing, the worse the film, the more the plot they give away.
I gotta get going.
Right this second. Hey, baby.
Hey, sweetie. I love you.
There's one small problem.
Hi, I'm Ross. I'm his brother. We're twins.
Are you parents?
Yeah. It can tear them apart.
I think you gotta let me know that everyone in your family's a midget.
They're not midgets, Carol. Dwarfs.
Or bring them together.
Hey, welcome. I'm Steven.
Oh, there you are. This is Stephen's father, Bruno, and his mom, Kathleen. And over behind the bar is Stephen's brother, Bob. You could have prepared us for this, don't you think? If you embarrass me, I'll never speak to you again, so just get it together.
How's everybody drink?
I think maybe I'm pregnant.
When the going gets rough, it's only the size of your heart that counts.
Would it really be that big of a deal if our kid was a dwarf?
Can you believe they wrote this stuff?
And you didn't tell her that her baby's probably gotta be lit. I'm not like you. We are so cute and cuddly. Don't discriminate against us.
This party's got a little wild. I never expected this. There's sure a lot of midgets around here. You better back off, Goldie Hawn. I make him do what he wants to do. I'm ready for an adult relationship.
What is this man doing in your bedroom?
A walk down the aisle
Steven's he's a very lucky guy. I just hope he's smart enough not to screw it up.
is just a beginning.
There'll be rough patches, there's no doubt about it.
Canal Plus and Langley Productions proudly present command performances from Kate Beckinsale, Matthew McConaughey, Patricia Arquette, and in the role of a lifetime, Gary Oldman.
In the role of a lifetime. And then with a serious voice, they said Tiptoes. Yeah, frightening, terrifying. All right. I swear I have nothing against little people. I really don't. I love them. But it's just 3 in a row is how it happened to work out. Troll 2. Well, they had the rights to the name, and that was it. So they made a movie called Troll 2 that has no trolls in it. Not a single troll. Goblins, got lots of goblins, and it's actually, the film is meant to be a film about protecting the environment. Unfortunately, neither the director nor writer or a lot of the crew that they had brought with them spoke English. They had to hire a translator. They held auditions in the town where it was filmed for extras, and then cast the extras as the lead roles. And the script wasn't in English, so they had to translate it, and basically because they couldn't read the script and the translation was garbage, it's just ordinary people just saying what they think they would say in that situation. How many of you have seen Troll 2? Why? I don't know either, but we're gonna torture everybody now.
You're late.
That's my favorite scene.
Here are the keys. Here are ours.
That's it. Nice. I love that scene.
You in our city.
Still telling the same story, Josh?
How many times they show the title so that they can show you they own the name Trolls but have no trolls in their film?
Goblins don't exist.
And remember,
of a movie. Well, there were no best parts in the movie, so they just showed everything. Okay, originally I had Xanadu in my list, and then someone wisely said, oh, Xanadu's bad, but have you seen The Apple? It is loosely based on the best-selling book of all time, the Bible. Very loosely based. And yes, it is a musical, this is The Apple.
The Cannon Group.
In 1994, the world is controlled by one power. The Apple is success.
There ain't no pride, there ain't no shame, there ain't no sympathy, there ain't no blame, there ain't no pleasure,
The Apple brings you everything.
What about happiness?
By the way, they should not cast a woman and a man with the same voice. Listen. I didn't know who was singing what
to release Phoebe from a contract. Where is she?
I stand alone, I stand alone, cry for me.
The Apple is the temptation. The Apple is the experience.
Take the apple! Whoa! Where's the apple?
Let's move along. Okay, I did this panel once, and a guy got very mad at me for including this on the list.
Why?
Because he argued it was actually the greatest film of all time. And then made a whole argument for it. And then I said, you're wrong.
Was he about as high as John Boorman was when he made this movie?
Yes, but that was his argument, that Boorman is a great director, and how could I dare put this down? I'm like, I don't know, just watch the movie. Sean Connery only did the film because it was a couple miles from his house. And, to show you the kind of man Sean Connery was, they offered to hire him a driver, and he said, no, I'll drive myself, but you have to reimburse me for mileage. And he charged him $150 a day for mileage to travel like 8 miles. So he really just did this for the money. A little bit of Zardoz, because I want to make sure I have time for the best, worst movie of all time. Maybe it's just not going to play. That would be nice.
Zardoz speaks to you. His chosen ones, the gun is good.
Suck it, Trebek.
Came here in the stone head.
I don't know.
It is the only path and passage into the vortex. You will show me how you come to be here. Tell me everything.
My name is Zed. For Zardoz, I am an exterminator.
It's what they told me. You know, people do that thing where they're pretending to walk downstairs?
Yeah.
That's the acting direction they gave. And then he punches his way out of plastic wrap.
Caution, you are approaching the
No, he's signaling a bunch. I think I've had nightmares like this.
Yeah, it's just a lot of...
It's like Phantasm, but no Angus
It's
Scrim.
actually about 4 or 5 different movies put into one concept, and none of it makes sense. So, I have seen...
The future.
The future, wait for it, and it doesn't work. Neither does this movie. Okay.
Oh, you want an even better treat with this? The radio spots for Zardoz, narrated by none other than Rod Serling.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'll have to listen to that. All right, this, in my opinion, is the greatest bad movie ever made. How many of you have seen Sextet? I didn't think so, and you are in for a treat. Towards the end of her life, an 80-something-year-old Mae West decided to make a movie. And everybody who's nobody is in the film with her because they all said, she's 80 years old, this is probably the last chance to work with Mae West. And she propositioned every single one of them on the set. That is absolutely true. She couldn't remember her lines, but hey, she was 80, so they gave her an earpiece, but it kept picking up like all kinds of weird signals, so it was like, she's filming and goes, Car 54, where are you? They filmed her with what must have been just airport runway lights. I mean, it's just, the lights are so powerful. The cast is absolutely amazing. It's a musical. Ringo Starr is in it, and even they knew not to let Ringo sing. It's so cool because there's a Beatles song in the film, and Ringo Starr does not get to sing in this movie. It only made about $25,000 when it was released, and all of that was made at the opening night where Mae West was appearing. No one saw this film when it came out. Just nobody saw it. And it's a shame because it's a really beautifully bad film. I'm just going to show it to you and then you can decide for yourself.
Take 15. What's the word?
What word?
The word. What's the word?
Action?
Action. Action.
What the world needs now is a lasting peace. And they've got it. Mae West.
How do you like it in London, Marlowe?
Oh, I like it anywhere.
In the uninhibited, unabashed, unforgettable, overexposed.
Oh, you're right about that.
That dress is so fantastic that even I would wear it. In fact, I have.
Mae West is Marlowe Manners. She's the most successful film star in history.
I'm the girl that works at Paramount all day and Fox all night.
But she won't be satisfied until she's loved by all mankind, one man at a time.
All men.
Meanwhile, negotiations break down in a secret conference, and the world is on the brink of disaster. There's only one hope left.
Remember, she's doing this for Uncle Sam,
the world's leading expert in international relations.
I don't know much about politics, but I do know a good party man when I see one.
Because no one handles heads of state like Marlowe.
Oh, sexy Alexa.
Let's see, come in, my dear. Even on her wedding night with Timothy Dalton.
Yes, Timothy Dalton.
You gotta stop.
Before James Bond, by the way, and there's actually a line in here where he says, who do you think you are, James Bond?
I'm not allowed to give that information out. I can't.
Tony Curtis.
Do you remember that vulgar night we spent on the river?
What?
I mean that night we spent on the river Volga.
Dom DeLuise.
Hello! Are you trying to get rid of me?
Ringo Starr.
Husband number 6, meet husband number 4.
A pleasure.
Alice Cooper.
Yes, that is Alice Cooper.
Walter Pidgeon. Rona Barrett. George Rapp.
I haven't seen you in 2 years. What have you been doing?
2 years. And the U.S. athletic team.
What are you trying to do? Give me competition?
All right.
Oh, stop. Oh, well, go ahead, honey.
Immortal comedy will live forever.
Oh! It's finally bought!
You know it.
By the time she gets out of bed, there may be a new administration.
See Mae West in the all-star, all-new, all-out, outrageous.
Pick up the world. Pick up the world.
Sextet.
And remember, parental guidance is suggested.
Watch this film. You will absolutely hate it and love it at the same time. Mae West plays a super spy who is this Hollywood movie star who has 7 ex-husbands, each of them in the film in some way or another. It is fantastic. The only thing that actually, redeems this film, who is actually good, is Dom DeLuise is actually funny in it, because he seems to be the only one who's aware of how bad it is and just decides to have fun. So he really does enjoy it. That's my list. I hope you enjoyed it. I wish I had more time to spend with you. If you have some ideas of your own you'd like to share with me, visit me. I'm over in the Family Zone doing free drawings. Thank you very much. I'm Joe Ost, MazeTunes.com. Thanks, everybody.